Welcome back to Great Online Training. This is Naidu. I'm a SAS trainer and programmer. In this video, I'm going to talk about global options. What are the different global options? What we use in SAS? We are going to cover in this. These particular options, we can write it anywhere in the SAS environment. You can write it in the top, you can write it in the bottom, you can write it anywhere in the SAS environment. Let's see how we can use this particular option and what will be the syntax and how to start writing from scratch. We'll see in this particular class. Please note that there is a task at the end of the video. Watch the video entirely and respond to the task by leaving your comments below. It's about your global options. I'll make you feel happy. So while you are listening and learning also. Right then. So let me just go through. So first let me just open SAS. Okay. Now the question is, what is global options? These global options means you can write anywhere in the SAS environment. That's the reason why we call it as a global. You can write it in the top of your program. You can write it in the bottom of the program. You can write it in the middle of your program. You can write it almost in all the places in your edited window. But the only limitation with these global options, you can't write it after your chord statement. Once you have written chords or data line semicolon, don't write these options. It won't work. So all these global options are used to manage or to control your output, to control your what I can say that a log, to control your Explorer window also. Let me just go through step by step what global options we have and how exactly it is important for your certification exam in real time. We will see. Okay, whenever you try to write it, proc means it's a procedure. Print means I'm telling my SAS to print it. Data equal to your dataset name. So that is my SAS. Help library with the name of class dataset. I'm just semicolon. I'm giving it and run statement. This will give me an output. There is nothing special, right? I think from the day one onwards we are seeing this. It's a normal output. What is special is, let's focus on the SAS system is the title. How come this one? So this is the SAS default. Whenever you produce any output, the output will try to display the SAS system is the title. Instead of that, so now let me focus on it. Instead of that, for my next program when I'm executing it, I want to get my title as a this is my student's data is the title I want to write it. So why can't I can just give a enter. I can write it now. Title within a title statement, quotations. It can be single or double quotations is your wish. And then we'll try to write it. So this is my student's data, semicolon. This will allow me to print it. So you just see that I'm getting it. This is my student's data is the title. Perfect. So everything looks good. Imagine, but sometimes what happens, I'll try to generate another output at the down, but that time that is not a student's data. Instead of sashelp.class, I'll try to print my dataset name called hot. When you try to execute it and run it, so I'm getting a data of my hot data. This is all about patients. So even this time also, as it's a global option earlier, as I said, once you activate it, until unless you deactivating, these global options are still continued. So this is my SAS system. This is my student's data is the title. You are getting it for this output also. Oh, no, that is not my interest, right? This is my patient's data. Then I need to change my title to a different one. So make sure to write it, saying it as a title. With the title, I'm just writing it in a quotation, singular, double quotations, your wish. So this is my this is my okay. So I'll try to write it patients data, patients, patients data. I'm just writing it and give the semicolon. So when I execute it, run the program. So now you see that this title I'm getting it. This is my patient's data. Perfect. But in my next output, when I'm producing it, that time I'm writing proc print data equal to my dataset name. So that is my SAS help library, okay, with the name of air is the dataset which is there in my SAS help library. When I'm printing it, what my expectations is, none of the title I don't want it actually. So that means this is my student's data title not required. This is my patient's data title not required. Then how I can tell to my SAS I don't need any title by just mentioning a title and don't mention anything. This will allow me to deactivating the title which is already activated by me earlier. You see that? Earlier my titles used to get it, that it just got deactivated by just using this option called title with semicolon. So this is the way of writing a title. Imagine sometimes we need to write titles in two to three titles, four titles, five titles like that. Let me show you an example so that you will get a clarity why we are learning the concept of these global options today. You go to the project RR27309 documents, and there we have a shells. Shells is nothing but a blueprint or a copy of your programs what to write it. So I'm just writing it the copy here. So the copy of my programs you can see here. You see, so this is there are two titles here. One title is subject demographics and baseline characteristics is one title, and safety population is another title. Actually expecting two titles. You're expecting to get two titles. So what we can do is I can just mention it. So two titles also. Let me copy this so that for a safer side, because I don't want to just type it all this text. I'll try to copy simply. I'll just go to my SAS. I'll try to mention it with the title one quotations. I'll try to mention with it. So that is subject demographics and baseline characteristics. Then followed by, and I'm just writing it enter. Then I'm writing it a title 2. You need to write it because that is the title 1 for the first title. The second title, according to me, the second title I'm writing it as a safety population is the second title I'm looking for. I'm just writing it that. So I'll try to mention it. So title 2 is I'm writing it. Give the semicolon. So this will allow me to get the second title now. When I execute it, so I'm getting it. Subject demographics baseline characteristics is first title, and second title I'm getting it right now. Okay, is there any end limit for this particular title? I can write it title 1, title 2, title 20, 30, 40 also I can give it. No, the end limit for the titles you can max write it up to title with 10. You write it, give this. Okay, the title I'm writing as just ABC because I don't want to write it big sentences. When you try to write it, the 10th title will be printed. You see that? I got it. So you click on this title. The first title you have given subject demographics baseline characteristics. Second one is safety population. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Nothing. It's a blank. 10th title is ABC you have given. Yeah, it is printing it. Like that, there are 10 titles you can write it in your program if you want it. It's not necessary that always you need to write a title before of your proc step. We can write it this title after your data also. We can write it and give that program. See, the title is working. You may, no matter where you write it before your what I can say that program or after the program, still it is working. Not only that, and this is all about your titles. Imagine one of the certification question they ask you title 1 they have given, title 2 they have given, again title 1 if I go ahead. So tell me how many titles you are expecting. Anyone unmute yourself and try to answer this question. This is the certification question. Title 1 they have mentioned, title 2 they have mentioned. What is the title 1? Again title 1 they have mentioned. So now what title you are expecting in the output? How many titles is the first question?
2 will get.
Maybe this replaces the
It
first
will
one.
replace title. ABC was replace the first
Okay,
one.
so you are expecting the title 1 of 14.1.2.1 will be replaced with ABC. I agree with that. Okay, so that how many titles total you are expecting?
2.
2, right? But surprisingly, you will get it only one title, that's ABC only. Because you said that to SAS that, okay, I need a title 1, title 2 and title 1. So that SAS thinks that you are resetting your titles. That means the titles what you have written over there is no more required for you. You are resetting it just by using an option called title 1. Understand? So the last title only will be get printed by default. So this is all about your title. Title is a
Can you
global
give
option.
that
Once you
explanation
activate
again?
it, until unless you deactivate it, this title options will be continued throughout your next programs is running. So this is all about your title. Yes, madam. Please continue the question.
So, can you tell me why the title 2 will not come?
So title 2 also coming up, right? So title 2 won't come. The reason is, see, title 1 you have given, title 2 you have given. Again, title 1 means it is resetting. Resetting means it is resetting the order of the total titles. It's not about resetting the first title. Got it? SAS thinks that you have written 9 titles, but 10th title you have written a title 1. All 9 titles gone into the trash. SAS thinks that, okay, you need the titles from starting onwards, 1, 2, 3 onwards, again you are starting. So that's what SAS will feel actually.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Questions? Good.
So
Okay.
if we write title 1, sir,
Title?
title 1, 14 dot it was there, right? After that, one more time, title 1 ABC if we are written means we will get 2 titles.
Title 1 you have written here. Again, title 1 ABC you have written, right? Right now. What is happening?
Means above that title 2 only if you are returned title 1 one more time ABC.
Okay, you are expecting title 1. Okay, title 1, title 1, title 1, or this one? What is the value for this one?
No, that is title 2.
This is title 2. Okay. So then in that
now
case,
we'll get 2.
So in this case, this one is gone. Okay. This one you will get it.
Replaced by
From there onwards, you will get
it
title 2 also. You check it now. You execute it. You're getting it, right? Safety population and ABC only you'll get it. You won't get the first one because that is overwritten with my safety population.
Okay.
Good. Okay. And now, not only the title, there is an option for footnotes too. See, there are 3 footnotes in my program. Can you see that? Footnote 1, footnote 2, footnote 3. 3 footnotes are there in the data. So I'm just writing it in the same program. I'll just mention my values. The first one, see, only 1 footnote is required. I'll just write it footnote, and that's it. Don't write any footnote, and that's it. Don't write anything. So you are going to get the footnote and give the semicolon. So you will get it all the footnotes. Execute it. So now if I execute it and run it, so you got it all the footnote. See, 1 footnote is created. If you want it multiple footnotes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so then you need to write it footnote 1, footnote 2, footnote 2. It is not required to give it a double quotations every time. If you want it, you can give the single quotations also. That's not an issue. Footnote 2, then followed by the footnote 3. I'm just writing here footnote 2. I think footnote 3, right? This one 3, this one 2, footnote 1, footnote 2, and footnote 3. I'm getting it here and writing it semicolon, and then we are writing it. So now if I execute it, run the program. So now you got it. Footnote 1 is created, footnote 2 and footnote 3 also created. Perfect. So go to this program, go to this one. So I got it safety population with ABC, and you got it the footnote. So here, so footnote 1 and footnote 2 also created. Perfect. 3 also there. So 3 footnotes. If you want it, I can write it. From next output onwards, I don't need any footnotes. I can just mention footnote.
What is the maximum?
10 only. Again, so even 10 titles and 10 footnotes you can write it. Okay. So if I try to write it footnote, I can write it from now onwards. You execute any program. Okay. So you execute a simple hot data set or maybe class data set to be printed after activating this one. Don't expect any output to be in the output window. If I execute it and run it, so there is no output in output window at all. By just looking into it, you just see, so there is no footnote at all the footnotes are gone. I have removed by just mentioning footnote with semicolon. This is about your title and your footnotes. Making sense? So we learned about what is title and what is footnote in SAS. So we have covered. Let me just go through the next one. Other global options. What else global options we have? So now imagine what is the global option of uh, uh, let's say I'm writing it. Proc means it's a procedure. Print means I'm printing it. Data equal to data set name. So that I'm writing it SAS help library with the name of class data set. I'll take that as a source. Run it. Now my interest is when I'm writing it, default output will be printed in the center of the page. Now I decided I don't want this output to be center. Then I can tell to my SAS, just give a enter. You write an option statement here. Options within this option or options, you can write anything. Options no center. This will allow me not to display the output in the center of the page. Execute it and run it. There is no output. So what happens, with this one, I said that clearly. Options no center. I don't need any center. So of your results. So I'm getting it. The output is not in the center of the page. Okay. And at the same time, I said that I don't want any titles also, as I have my titles are continued from my previous one. Let me try to continue title and title title. Don't need to write options with title. Only titles and footnote don't need to write any option statement, but rest all the global options require option statement. Titles and footnote doesn't require any option statement. You see that? So I'll get the output in the left side of the page. At the same time, what I can get it here. So is that system date and time I'm getting it here. Apart from that, so basically the left side it is printing instead of center earlier, but now it's the left side. I don't want it system date and time to be displayed. Then I can tell to my SAS by just mentioning it a statement saying it as a no number. So no number, number here, number, no number. I'll try to write it. This will allow me not to display the page number. See, before I'll run it, I'll show you the old output how it looks like. You see, I'm at page number at 590. When I say no page number, that means no number. Don't expect the page number anymore. You see that the page numbers are gone. But the system date and time is used to get it. Even that is also not interested to display. Then I can tell to my SAS by just using an option called no date. So automatically when you execute it, no date and time both also gone. So it is what you are getting it in the output window. System title, footnotes, nothing is there. So no titles and as well as no system date and time and no page numbers. So it's just like normal output. Apart from that, imagine this output is very small one. I don't see any differences. Imagine instead of SAS help.class, I'll try to take in a data set called hot. When you try to take it, the hot data set is a bit bigger one. There are huge variables, there are many. But I want to print all this particular data in the single page itself. What happens, horizontally, if you see, I have a status, death cause, age at CHD, diagnosis, sex, age at start, height, weight, diastolic blood pressure, systolic blood pressure. Only it is printing or fitting into this page. Remaining values are continuing to the next line like MRW, smoking status, age at death and all continuing to the next page. Now my interest is very simple. Let's bring all this. I'm stretching horizontally my page size more. So how I can do that? I can just use it, a option here by just using ls. Ls means line size. Increasing a line size up to 200 lines per character. 200 characters per line. I want to write it, so I can increase it. When I try to do it, so now you see the total output of mine is trying to fit it into the same page itself. You see horizontally, I almost I print all the variables which is there in the data set. I could able to read those. Horizontally I stretched myself so that I can print up to 200 characters per line. I can write it max. I can write it up to 256 only. You can't exceed more than that. Up to 256 line per character. 266 characters per line you can print it by default. That's making sense. Imagine, but go to this particular output. So there, what we are getting it right now. So I'm expecting somewhere the lines, how many lines I'm printing it in this page? Almost some 64 lines per page I'm printing it. After that, the page break is coming up and next page is coming into the picture. But I don't want that page break to be happen. Let it have all the lines to be printed on the same page. Then instead of having that gap, I can tell to my SAS by just using an option called PS, page size equal to, you try to make it up to 6,000. If I write it, just imagine up to 6,000 lines will be printed in one page. Generally, in our kids' notebook, if you try to open it, 17 to 18 lines per that particular page on that notebook, right? Is the same way like this in this particular SAS, up to 6,000 lines, we can print it on the same page if you want it. So you can write it. Max, I can write it up to 32,767 lines you can print it, but right now I'm interested to print it only 6,000. So everything you see that every output of mine or maybe every row of mine is printing on the same page. There is no other page at all. You scroll down, you can just see all the outputs, even 60 40. So all the 6,000 lines per page until it is printing, so it won't stop there. Okay, so it is just giving it a page size also, you'll get it. And one more thing is, you carefully see in your data, the numeric missing value is printed like a dots. But instead of dot, client interested, let's have these values as a missings or maybe 10 or some 10. You can't write it. Wherever it is a missing value of my character. See, one thing is clear, the character missing value always blank. There is no doubt on it. Numeric missing value always as a period. But now client interest is try to convert this numerical missing value into a character format like a blank. How I can tell that to SAS? By just mentioning a statement saying it options missing equal to, you can just write it in a quotations, don't mention anything. So the numeric missing values of your data will be printed like a blanks. Now you see that earlier we used to get dots, the dots are no more, so you are getting those values as a blanks right now. Making sense? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm getting it right. So there is no doubt on it. So I'm writing it. Options no center, no number, no date. Line size equal to 200. Page size equal to 6,000. Missing equal to. I'm just writing as a blank. Yeah, that's working well. Imagine I'm trying to write it. What I want to write it is no center, no number, no date. Line size is 200 and page size is 6,000. Missing equal to a blank. We are making everything possible. And now the values what it is displaying it right now in the output. Let's say how many outputs, how many records you are printing it right now. So default, how many there in the data set, and those many records I'm printing it. Let's have SAS to limit this particular records to print it up to maximum up to 10 records only. Then I can write it OBS equal to, if I make it 10, so that it will allow me to print maximum observations up to 10 records only. So you won't get it more than those. So you will get it 10 and it will get stopped. Status, death cause, age at size, the diagnosis, age at start, height, weight, and diastolic blood pressure, systolic blood pressure. Everything is making sense, and you are getting nice, right? So all the up to 10 records only you will get. Not only now, any data set you run it now, you will get it up to 10 only. And apart from that, I'm getting the data set right now. Just imagine any data set and I'm creating it. So data, your data set name, test, I'm writing it, semicolon, input is the statement. There I'm mentioning x and y is the two variables with the small letter. Chord statement, when you try to write it, semicolon, x value 10 and y value 20. So 40 and 50 if I'm 50 if I'm writing it. So give the semicolon. So then give a run statement. So this will allow me, proc means it's a procedure, print means you are printing it. So data equal to data set name. I'm just writing it as a test, semicolon, and run. So this will allow me to print it. So now you execute it, run the program. I'm getting it. See, I'm getting output in output window. But here my values, I want to change my x and y values to be uppercases. So what I can do is I can just use it options. If I'm writing caps, it will allow me the values of my data capital letters. You'll get it, so that automatically my variables will be capital letter. Options caps, I have to execute that first, so then only I need to run the next line. Options caps, it will allow me to change those values into uppercases if you want it. You see that X and Y is capital letters, you're getting it. Not only that, just imagine if I could have written another variable name called city, so with the dollar sign, there if I'm writing HYD with small letter, and this one Mumbai with a small letter. Okay, when you try to execute it, don't expect like a small case letters. Those values also will be turned into uppercases. Okay, so by using uppercase function, we are changing all the values into uppercases. If you want it, you are getting it. So you're not interested to have it in uppercase. You want to make it so only the variable names to be uppercases, but the data inside of your value should not be uppercases. That's what you're looking for. Then you can tell to your SAS by just mentioning it. No caps for time being, because you don't need that caps letter anymore. So I want to deactivate it. Okay, don't take it as a caps letter. Then what we try to write it is, instead of writing an option called caps, we'll try to write an option called valid var name equal to, I'll try to write it uppercase. Case, we'll try to write it valid var name equal to uppercase. So now if I execute it and run the program, so the values in uppercase, see, only the variable names is capsule, but the data inside your data set will be smaller case. Perfect, I'm getting it right now. So options: no center, no number, no date, line size, page size, missing. And missing, when you're writing, instead of missing, I want to write my value as a 9 or 10. 9 I can write it, only one digit only possible in that quotations I can write it. Instead of having your missing values in your data, when I execute it, I want to write a 9. You see, I have missing values earlier, those missing values it filled with 9. Yeah, I can do that by just using an option called, so just in a quotations you can write it, whatever the text you want it, you can write it. OBS equal to 10, valid var name equal to uppercase, you are writing it the variables in uppercase letters if you want it. So you are getting it. Perfect. Options: no center, no number, no date, line size, page size, missing, OBS, valid var name equal to uppercase, and I'm just writing it here. So the title statement also we are writing it. Yep. So if I execute it and run the program, so it is working. So yeah, all this what I can say, that global options if you want it. So yeah, you can able to do that, and it is working. Options: no center, no date, no number, and as well as line size, page size, missing equal to OBS, valid var name equal to uppercase, and all. Perfect, there is no doubt on it. Everything is working, all the global options.
So here missing. Missing only applicable for numeric.
Only numeric values printed to be missing as a 9, but characters is not printing anything. In characters is as it is. Okay, so we have seen a lot of global options as of now. So this is the time for doing a task. So what is the task in this particular global options? So the task is setting the global options. So what are the global options? So we have it, we need to set it one by one. Let's say, given the SAS program, options: no date and no number. ODS listing is the options I have used too. Proc print data equal to SAS.choose, where sales, inventory, label sales equal to sales total, inventory equal to number of stores, title equal to title I'm writing as a univariate report, and run. So now the question is, in this particular SAS.choose data set, how many of the statements are global statements in it? In this particular list of programs, how many are global options? Okay, so what we have written here, and enter the numeric answer. So what is your answer here? How many of these particular global options you have used in this particular program, and please enter that particular what I can say, that answer as a number in this particular comment box. So that's it. So this is about this particular, what I can say, that the global options. So pretty much so what are the global options, what are the statements. So now you need to just display how many global options I have used in this particular program is the question. Right answer I have already provided in the pinned comment and as well as in the description of this particular video. You can watch it for more details. Thank you for watching. Please click on the like if you are interested on this particular video and as well as subscribe for more updates. And if you have any questions or comments, please write it in the comment section. I'll take care. Thank you.